Welcome to the Tennessee Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full sign up for additional sessions. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the website where you registered. And now I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter from the University of Alabama.
Roll Tide and welcome to the University of Alabama. I'm Stacy Hall and I am your regional recruiter for the Middle Tennessee area. I live here in Middle Tennessee and work here full time. And we want to welcome you to a campus that inspires excellence at every endeavor. So you may ask, why Alabama? Aside from being a top research institution located on a 1,000-acre campus that gives students limitless opportunities for education and entertainment, UA affords students from across the country the opportunity to experience life in the South. A cohesive feel of campus and the Southern hospitality that students experience make UA an easy choice. UA consistently is raising the bar when it comes to admission statistics. Here on your screen, you'll see our 2019 freshman class and what these legends are made of. A 3.77 average GPA, a 27 average ACT, and we enrolled 256 National Merit Scholars, ranking us second among all public institutions across the country. And fresh off the press, our 2020 freshman class has an average GPA of 3.83, with 42% of them having a 4.0 GPA or higher, and 40% of our students qualifying for one of our many generous academic scholarships. And for you seniors out there, the application is officially open. We are admitting students for fall 2021. To apply to Alabama, you submit the application at gobama.ua.edu/apply. Submit your verified test scores and official high school transcripts. Now this year, for spring, summer, and fall 2021, we are offering test optional admission. So meaning you do not have to take the test, or even if you have taken the test, the ACT or SAT, you do not have to send it to us for admission. Also for admission, we require no essay or recommendation letters, and students admitted prior to January 15th will be considered for all scholarships. Spending time on campus and touring the historical Paul W. Bryant Museum, walking the quad, or having a cup of coffee at one of our 2 Starbucks on campus lets you take in the atmosphere as to why UA is one of the premier college campuses in the nation. The campus hums with a life of its own, generated by the 38,000 students that we have on campus. 63% of our students are from a state other than Alabama, and every state in the union is represented on our campus. Fun fact, Tennessee ranks 6th as the top Bama-bound states in the country, and that's quite impressive if you ask me. So academic programs, the University of Alabama offers 9 schools and colleges, including our colleges of arts and sciences, business, communications, education, engineering, human environmental sciences, nursing, and social work. We also have a fantastic honors college with 7 different honors programs, including McCullough Scholars, which is a pre-med honors program, our University Fellows program, and Randall Research Scholars program. We also really try to put undergraduate research in front of all of our different students. And speaking a little bit about honors college, to be admitted to honors directly out of high school, a student needs a 30 on the ACT or 1360 SAT and a 3.5 or higher GPA. We do understand that many students, again, do not have access to the ACT and SAT, so Honors College is working on their requirements for students without a test. There is an additional application and essay for honors, and a student must be admitted to UA to apply to Honors College. Some of the perks with honors: smaller classes, priority registration, and you get to live in honors housing. And while we know students want to have that boots on the ground experience, we're proud to say that UA is offering in-person tours again. We're offering bus and walking tours. We also have a virtual 360 campus tour and virtual information sessions from all of our different colleges. So if you can't get to campus, you can check out our Go Bama Visits page at the bottom of the screen. Our attractive merit-based scholarships attract students the best and brightest from all across the country, internationally as well. This year, we have the UA Competitive Academic Scholarships, as well as our merit-based scholarships that you see on the screen here. So the merit-based, we do require a GPA and ACT or SAT scores, but those UA Competitive Academic Scholarships that can also be found at our scholarships website at the bottom of your screen show you scholarships that you can receive without a test score. And combined with our 650 clubs and organizations, 34 club sports teams, and the largest Greek community in the country that has given over 1 million hours of community service to the city of Tuscaloosa, this makes the Bama experience a top-notch one in and outside of the classroom. Quickly, we'll talk about housing. We do offer 3 styles of housing. Traditional, which is a double occupancy room, bathrooms are down the hall. We offer a modified traditional, so you have a double occupancy room, private bath in your room also, and then suite style, which is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath style. Housing is first come, first served, so we just opened our housing application. You'll see a few famous faces here. Mark Ingram, our first Heisman Trophy winner that's still active in the NFL. Reese Davis, the second longest tenured ESPN anchor, and Marilyn Housen, one of our CEOs of Lockheed and Martin. And lastly, y'all, this is my contact information. So please take a quick screenshot. And if I can ever help y'all with anything, reach out. And I will end with a roll tide. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a great evening.
Thank you. Remember to send in any Q&A questions, and now we'll be hearing from the University of South Carolina.
All right, appreciate it. Let me share my screen real quick. All right, well, I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. I am Andrew Nutt. I am the regional representative here in Tennessee for the University of South Carolina. Hopefully you learn a little bit about South Carolina today in the few minutes that we have together. So one of the first things I kind of want to talk about is the campus setting. If you're not super familiar with where the University of South Carolina is located, we are in Columbia, which is the state capital of South Carolina. The great thing I think about South Carolina is that we get you really get best of both worlds as far as the true campus experience, but then also at the same time, you're in a mid-sized city where there's plenty of things to do, lots of businesses, restaurants. There's the Congaree National Park, which kind of goes right through the town. A lot of students will go kayaking there. There's a lot of trails to go running, things like that. So if you're more of an outdoors person, there's also some really great things to do throughout the week and also on the weekends. Geographically, Columbia is in a fantastic location as well. You're about an hour and a half from the mountains, about an hour and a half from Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you want to go on a weekend trip to catch an NFL game, or if you're more of a beach bum, you're about an hour and a half from the beach as well. So a lot of our students will take some really great weekend trips, to do some really cool destinations, and that's really easy to do where the campus is located. All right, at South Carolina, we do put a huge emphasis on academics. We are a Tier 1 research institution, so we really want to make sure that our students are going to be prepared for the future. And that's an emphasis that you'll see at South Carolina. Now, there are over 56 different nationally ranked programs at South Carolina. There's over 300 different major combinations that you can choose from. And then also, we've had the nationally ranked Public Honors College since 2012. Which is a fantastic program. Really encourage you to look more into it. It's one of those opportunities for you to get that small liberal arts experience at a large public university. And also at South Carolina, we want to make sure that you are prepared for success in the future. So, one of the emphasis that you'll see whenever you actually visit campus and talk to other students and professors that are teaching at South Carolina is we want to make sure that you're going to get an experience outside of just the classroom. We want to make sure that you're having a fantastic education while you're at South Carolina, but then also we want to make sure that you're going off the campus to experience something new, whether that's through an internship, study abroad opportunity, undergraduate research, or a leadership opportunity through community service projects, anything like that, we want to make sure that you're doing that. Some of our programs actually require that you get some sort of experience off campus. So many of our programs will actually require students to get internships. Our honors program and another program that's called our Capstone Scholars program, they require you to get a off-campus experience through a study abroad internship or a co-op. So, that's something that we want to make sure that all of our students that are entering South Carolina are going to be leaving, getting all of the experiences that we're hoping to get whenever they went to college in the first place. Then I really wanted to go over our test optional policy. So for our students that are applying for this year, I wanted to kind of make sure that you were aware that we have moved to test optional for this upcoming fall. And basically what that means is that all of our prior applications, so our application for our general admissions, our application for the Honors College, and then also our merit-based scholarships, they're all going to be test optional for this year. So you have 3 options basically to choose from to supplement your application. So once you've completed your application, you will have to choose one of these 3 options. You can choose all 3, but you have to choose at least one of these options to supplement your application. So you can submit test scores if you'd like to, and both the SAT and the ACT are super scored. If you are not wanting to send test scores, your other options would be submitting exam scores from AP, IB, or Cambridge. Then your third option would be submitting a graded writing assignment from 11th or 12th grade year. So like I said, you can choose whatever combination of these 3 options, whichever one you feel like is going to make your application the strongest. And then these are a few deadlines that we just want you to keep up with. If you're thinking about applying to our early action application, the deadline is coming up. It is this week, so you want to make sure that you get that in as soon as possible. But then also you want to keep in mind some of the credentials deadlines. So we want to make sure you submit the application by October 15th, but the credentials deadline, which means all of the supplemental materials that you need to submit are not due until November 2nd. And then if you're thinking about going the regular decision route, so you want to apply to our regular application, the deadline to do that is December 1st. And the credentials deadline for that application is February 1st. So just make sure you keep up with those. Those are really important to keep those dates in mind. All right, but that's kind of the information that I've got for you. Feel free to reach out to me. I live right outside of Nashville, and I'd be happy to give you any information on any of the questions that you may have, and I'd be happy to help. Hopefully you learned something about South Carolina today.
Thank you. Next, we'll be hearing from Birmingham-Southern College.
Hey everybody, let me get my screen shared and we'll be good to go. All right. Perfect. Hi everybody, my name is Elena Elgin. I am a Senior Assistant Director here at Birmingham-Southern College, and I'm so thrilled to be with you guys tonight. I know that you probably have a lot of questions in this process, and we just like to do a quick presentations of the 5 questions we get asked all the time that we know you want to ask, and we're going to do it in 5 minutes, which means we're going to go pretty fast. But for those of you who have never heard of Birmingham-Southern College, we are a small private liberal arts school located in Birmingham, Alabama. We have just over 1,200 students, and students are coming from over 35 states and 18 different countries to take part of our campus community. So the numbers here are going to go from 5 to 1, with 1 being the most important. So the question we get asked a lot is, okay, well, you're probably a small school. There's probably nothing for me to do. So what in the world am I going to do in my free time? And this always makes me laugh because there is so much going on at Birmingham-Southern College. Whether you're taking part in one of our 100+ clubs or organizations, or taking part in enjoying our Birmingham is our backyard, there is so much to do on our campus. Birmingham is the largest city in the state of Alabama, and then we also have 200 acres on our own where students can really get the opportunity to explore, try a bunch of different things. We just have so much going on. I promise you will never be bored. Do you have one major? A totally valid question. And the answer is probably yes. We have over 50 different areas of study here at Birmingham Southern. The one highlighted here, business, education, pre-health, pre-law, and psychology. These are our just 5 most popular, by no means the best. Students will participate in a wide array of study while they're here at Birmingham Southern. Because we are a liberal arts school, you do get the opportunity to study more than just what you are majoring in. You will have to fulfill 5 core skill sets here at BSC. Rather than the 5 traditional classes, it's a very unique kind of core curriculum that I would be happy to spend time talking about. But basically, by the time you leave BSC, we guarantee that you will be able to think critically, problem solve, apply a topic across different disciplines, have the ability to self-direct teach, and then be engaged in civic engagement and community involvement. Also worth noting on here, anything with an asterisk you see next to it means it's a dual degree. So you have the opportunity to earn both a bachelor's and a master's while you are here with us at BSC. And this is my favorite thing to talk about. E-term is our 1-month mini-mester that takes place in the January term every year. So our semesters run for December and then February through May, with January being our explorations term. Students are required to do 2 explorations terms in their 4 years. The other 2 will be reserved for our guaranteed internships and research opportunities. But E-term is a time to take a really fun, non-traditional class. So you can take a class like the history of barbecue, where you travel around the Southeast and eat barbecue for an entire month. Or you can go to the Galapagos Islands and study seals and marine biology. And the coolest part about E-term is that it does not have to have anything to do with your major. It really is a time where you can explore, learn something new, and get a hands-on opportunity to participate in something really cool and unique, either on campus or globally. Number 2, this is a really important question to address. How do I get in? Can I get a scholarship? I call this the can of worms question, because you start asking it and then lo and behold, it's 30 minutes later and you are still asking more questions about it. So important to know, there's 3 ways to apply to BSC: our online BSC application, the Common App, or the Coalition app. Worth noting that our online application is always free. And we have several different deadlines. Early decision is that binding agreement. Early action is non-binding, meaning if you apply before November 16th of your senior year, we guarantee you an admission decision and a scholarship package by December 16th with no binding restrictions on that. Just let us know by May 1st what your decision is. And then of course, regular decision. Also completing the FAFSA for us too. Also important to note, we have been test optional for about 3 years now. This is, I believe, year 4 for us to be test optional. So it is not a new process to us. We really encourage students that if you feel like your test scores are not an accurate reflection of who you are academically or how you perform academically, to apply test optional. All that we require for test optional is your high school transcript and an essay, versus the standard application where all we require is your transcripts and then your ACT or SAT score, which we do super score. All right, and the number 1 question, I know I've gone fast, is there's 3 action items I want you to take away from tonight. We are open for visits. We are doing distance tours 5 days a week at a variety of times. So if you want to visit us, please head over to that link. If you're a senior and this sparks your interest, go ahead and apply. It will always be free. The last is to connect with me. Like I said, my name is Elena. I'm a senior assistant director at BSC, but I specifically work with Nashville students and Metro, kind of Middle Tennessee, Nashville. So please don't be a stranger. Please reach out. And if we can be of any help, just let us know. Thanks.
Thank you. So next we'll be hearing from Berea College.
Hi everyone, my name is Morgan Meekum and I happen to be a Berea grad myself, and so I am so passionate about Berea and so excited to be here talking with you tonight about Berea. Since we have 6 minutes, I'm going to format this in 6 things you need to know about Berea when we leave tonight. Number 1, we are the #1 bang for your buck college in the US. This is a ranking we get all the time. We do this by giving every single one of our admitted students a no tuition promise scholarship. This scholarship is valued at $174,000, and it means that half of our graduates graduate completely debt-free. The students that do end up having to take debt out usually only take out about $5,000, and that's because they choose to do really cool things like extra study abroad terms. Notice I said extra. Next is number 2. You can earn $2,000 with us your very first year here at Berea. We are one of 8 federally recognized work-study colleges in the US. So every student works on campus 10 to 12 hours a week. You get paid an hourly wage, and throughout the course of that first year, it's going to be about $2,000. That money is yours to keep. You can go buy a car, you can go on a shopping spree, whatever you want to do, it is completely yours, no strings, no ties to Berea. And through our work program, you're going to gain really valuable skills. You're going to learn how to work a job if it's something you haven't done before. You're going to learn how to get over workplace conflicts, how to build a resume, how to interview. You're going to really graduate Berea with a leg up on a lot of other graduates in the US. And third, as of this month, we were ranked the #3 liberal arts college in the US. I'm so proud to be a Berea grad, y'all. We have over 60 areas of study, and we have an option for extra majors and minors as well as independent majors and minors. And because you're not paying tuition at Berea, there's no penalty for double, triple majoring if you can make it happen. You can study whatever it is you want. We have a large faculty pool with a smaller student pool, meaning you're really going to get to know your professors and your peers. You're never going to be in a room with 200 people looking at a PowerPoint. There's only going to be about 14 students in your class. And every single one of our students graduates with undergraduate research, and a lot of them even get it published and presented by the time that they've graduated. We also recognize that our commitment to you isn't going to end after 4 years. We're going to give you funding post-grad to take the MCAT, the LSAT, the GRE, go visit your grad schools. We want you to be as successful out of Berea as you are in Berea. To make sure that this is all possible, we're also going to give every single one of our students a free brand new laptop at the start of their freshman year. You have 4 years with us. What can you do in those 4 years? Well, 1, you can study abroad. The national average of students is about 10% that get to study abroad, whereas at Berea, it's closer to 49%. Berea itself can fund up to 75% of your study abroad trip internally. That means that you only have to get a quarter of it funded externally. We have a whole office that's dedicated to helping you find programs, help you get that funding, and we're not partnered with any specific places, so you're allowed to go anywhere in the world as long as it's safe. We also fund 2 internships for every single student. These can be anywhere in the world, you just have to get accepted to the program. We will fund your travel, your housing, your cost of living. We'll give you money to do fun things while you're there. We want your resume to be strong. We want you to be as well-rounded as possible post-grad. So if there's an experience you want or need, we make it happen for you. We are also highly involved in service learning. Service is at the core of who we are. There are so many opportunities if that is something that's important to you. And here are 5 notable alumni. Dr. Carter G. Woodson is one that I'm super proud of to be a Berea grad. He is the father of Black History Month, and he exemplifies Berea. Berea was the first co-ed, co-racial school in the South, and equality and racial equality is something we still stand for very strongly today, and that is very evident when you step foot on our campus. So there's 6 steps between you and Berea. First, you need to apply online. It's free. There is no application fee at all, and it only takes about 8 minutes to fill out this form. We're going to need your high school transcripts, your school counselor evaluation form, a teacher recommendation form, and your FAFSA. Every single one of our students is going to be Pell eligible because we only focus on lower income students to make sure that everybody has the same chances for college and for the same quality of life as everybody else in the country. This year, because of COVID, we are test score optional. So if you didn't get a chance to take the test because of COVID, don't freak out. It is not going to hurt your chances with us at all. Our early action deadline is coming up. It is still possible to get everything in, and if you can, I so suggest it. Because if you get everything in by October 31st, you'll have your decision back whether you've been accepted or not by the time we break for the holidays in December. Next is our November 30th priority deadline. You'll hear back mid-February, and then the final day is March 31st. That is the last day we'll take anything at all. Here is my contact info. Go ahead and screenshot this. Feel free to text me, call me, whatever you need. I'm here to help you in your application and in your college search. Thank you so much for letting me speak with you all today. Have a great night.
Thank you. Just a reminder to send in any Q&A questions, and now we'll be hearing from Covenant College. You're still muted.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Let me know if my presentation isn't looking okay, but thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And it's been so fun to hear from these other universities. And I just wanted to share a little bit more about Covenant College. So I myself am a Covenant alum, just graduated in May, and I'm so grateful to continue to get to share our story and invite people into what we're doing on Lookout Mountain. So for those of you who don't know, we are a small Christian liberal arts college located right on top of Lookout Mountain, Georgia, which is about 15 minutes from the thriving city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And so it's really neat. You kind of get the best of both worlds: hiking trails, scenic views, all of that just right behind your dorm room, right on campus. But then you also have a really an upstart community there in Chattanooga where there's lots of connections to internships, jobs, volunteer opportunities, you name it. So I'm going to dive a little bit more into some details about us. So we have about 42 different states and 29 countries represented. And actually, Covenant is one of only 5 Christian colleges and universities ranked as a national liberal arts college, and the only one of those in the South. So we're a place where we're going to take our academics seriously, but also take the Christian faith really seriously. And so you'll see that evident on our campus. There's some more info about like our average student and what, you know, your academic profile could look like, but also we have about 1,000 students. So talk about a really intimate, tight-knit community. We're intentionally small. We love having the opportunity to have that 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of 18. And yeah, and that faculty ratio, what's cool too is that you're not having to compromise on the expertise of these faculty members. They are standing in front of you believing in Jesus Christ and also carrying PhDs and terminal degrees from some of the most top-notch institutions in the country. So you name it: Stanford, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge, Wash U, so many other universities I could name as well, where your professors are coming from, and they're going to know your name and walk alongside of you, not only in the classroom with academic material, but also ask you questions about your faith and care about your walk with the Lord. So yeah, these are some of our different departments, majors and minors, along with some cool pre-professional programs. So some of our top majors include English, biology, psychology, along with sociology, and yeah, just to name a few. We also have a great engineering program with Georgia Tech. So it's a 3-2 dual degree program. We're the only Christian college who has a relationship with that top notch of a technical school. And so if you want a really rigorous liberal arts education that's centered on Christ, along with being able to get connected to some awesome post-grad opportunities, Covenant could be the place for you. And so to pause from just hearing about Covenant and even some other universities, I just want to ask a question. Who will you become? As you're beginning to think about colleges and you're beginning to try and decide where you want to go, I really want to remind you that college are some of the most transformational years of your life. you really want to choose a place that you want to grow and a place where you're going to flourish and a place where you want to look like the people who are there. So as you're beginning to think of college, I would really get to know the people of the institution that you're going to be at. Get to know the professors, get to know the staff members, get to know the other students. See if these are people that you want to look like, people that you want to believe what they believe, love what they love, and know what they know. And so I'm going to describe a little bit more about Covenant's experience so that you can get to know us a little bit. So we like to describe your time at Covenant as an ascent. So this is an integrated faith and learning journey that is spiritually nourishing and academically challenging, equipping students with the skills and experiences they need to lead successful lives and careers. So we really take your 4 years at Covenant seriously. We want you to enter in that first year and really discover different passions, talents, interests, and help you then your second year clarify your specific major, field of study, places that you want to then your third year focus, dive more deeply into upper course materials as you're also diving into our core curriculum, getting that integrated liberal arts education, along with then your fourth year launching, both having a capstone project that's a wonderful accumulation of all of your years of study and getting you plugged into internships, future job opportunities, grad schools. We have a 92% performance rate for having students in a job tracking towards their calling within 6 months of graduation. So we really want you to be set up for success. So to dive a little bit into our community, that's one of the things that makes us who we are. It is so common to grab coffee or lunch with a professor who wants to get to know you, dive more into course material, or just share their story with you. And that's something that really makes us unique. Along with athletics, we are a NCAA D3 school, so you're going to get that opportunity to perform in intercollegiate athletics that are competitive and excellent, but also that aren't as demanding of your time and of your talents. And so if you still want to perform well in athletics, we also have intramurals and junior varsity ones as well. But what's at the heart of a Covenant education is that integration of faith and learning. So our mission is to explore and express the preeminence of Jesus Christ in all things. So if you're looking for a faith-based institution that takes their commitment to the Christian faith seriously, Covenant may really be the place for you. So briefly, I'm going to touch on our commitment to academic excellence. We want you to be experts in your field, not just to get a philosophy of, but really to be expert chemist, expert biologist, expert journalist, whatever, along with caring about your spiritual formation. We want you to grow in your relationship with Christ and to do so both inside and outside of the classroom. And lastly, your professional development. We want you to feel equipped to pursue meaningful work in God's world. So this matters to you because like I said, college matters, and we want you to be transformed more into the person that the Lord wants you to be, to know and identify your calling and to be able to have a strong understanding of how to live in God's world. So would love for you to apply today. I'd love to walk with you through every step of the application process. This is my cell along with my email, and we'd love to have you come visit this fall. I'd love to get to show you around the mountain and see the beauty of what's going on here and see if maybe you want to join our family and join our community. So thank you so much, and looking forward to hearing from someone.
Thank you. And lastly, we'll be hearing from Western Carolina University.
All right. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so I am Molly Tippett. I am the Assistant Director of Admission at Western Carolina University. I've been here about 6 years. I'm an alumni of Western, so it's something that I love, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about us. So first of all, we have a beautiful campus. We are lucky enough to be located right in the valley of the Great Smokies. The Blue Ridge is right where they meet, and you can see our campus is right there in a gorgeous location. The name of the town we're located in is Cullowhee, North Carolina. We're the westernmost UNC system school, so we are part of that UNC system. We are a public university in North Carolina, so that gives you some advantages. We're about an hour west of Asheville. So we have a 12,000 student body, and that includes undergraduate and graduate. About 10 to 11,000 of those are undergraduate students. So about 4,500 of those students live directly on campus. There are a lot more that live right in the area surrounding our campus. 57% of those are female and 43% are male. And we have 170 plus clubs and organizations. So there's tons of stuff to get involved in. We've got Base Camp Cullowhee, which is all about outdoor activities. It's got hiking, biking, skiing, whitewater rafting, snowboarding. There's a PE class you can take with snowboarding. We've got Greek life, we've got religious organizations, we have academic-based clubs, we have interest-based clubs that could be anything, like from gaming club to equestrian club to club sports, and we are Division I athletics, which is something that's really fun because as a student with your tuition and fees, you get all home sporting events included in that. So you can go to a football game, you can go to women's soccer, you can enjoy, you know, any of our home sporting events, you know, in a regular season. This year's been a little different due to COVID. So we have over 120 different majors, minors, and pre-professional programs, 6 colleges, including education, business, health, etc. There's many more. There's a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and 64% of our classes have 30 or less as far as our students. So we keep our classes small. You get that individual one-on-one attention with a professor. We also have something called community engagement, where we believe all of our majors should have some component of hands-on experience, whether that's an internship, whether that is an experience in the field, something like that. So here's some of our application requirements. So if you do decide you want to apply to Western, we require that you apply first and complete that application. With that application this year, we include the option for you to upload an unofficial high school transcript or manually enter all of your high school courses and grades. The other thing required is a $65 application fee or a fee waiver. So if you do qualify for a fee waiver, the way to find out is to go to applicationfeewaiver.wcu.edu, all lowercase. And if you go there, you can actually click on submit a fee waiver request to submit a waiver request, and that will give you that fee waiver potentially. Now for test scores, this year's a little bit different. Typically we would require them. However, due to COVID, we understand that a lot of you cannot get the tests or have not had that opportunity. If you do have scores, we encourage you to submit those. If you do get the chance to take the test, we encourage you to do so. However, if you cannot take the test, we can go ahead and review your application without them. We understand that this year is different than most years, so we have kind of a testing waiver in place for that reason. Community college transcripts. These are not required for us to initially review and give you a decision. However, if you do take early college or dual enrollment, we do want to have those transcripts when you finish all of your coursework. Now, essays, resumes, letters of recommendation, all of that is not required, but we encourage you to submit those if you would like, and we will take them into consideration when we review you for a decision. All right, so this year, our timeline is our early action deadline. It's coming up November 15th. And with that, it's non-binding. Excuse me. We do want all of those materials in by that date to give you a decision by December 15th. The FAFSA is open. The priority deadline is January 1st. And our regular application and scholarship deadline is February 1st. And there is a separate scholarship. You can actually take a picture of the link right there. It's scholarships.wcu.edu. And finally, our tuition and housing deadline is May 1st. And you have to make those deposits to hold your spot. Excuse me. So finally, this is my contact information. Please get in touch with me, and our visit information. So we have virtual visits that you can sign up for or go through. You can sign up for a one-on-one meeting with an admissions counselor. We also have a Zoom admissions lobby Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We offer in-person tours Monday through Friday, and there's 2 times for each of those sessions, and you must make a reservation online.
All right, thank you. Now I would like to just invite our reps to come back on and maybe share a little bit about their favorite event that takes place on their campus. If everybody wants to come on, everybody can just take maybe 30 seconds to 45 seconds and just share your favorite event. And then we can go in order of who presented first.
Awesome. Well, yeah, absolutely. My favorite thing on campus, no question, would be homecoming week. You know, certainly when you have all the camaraderie between all the different colleges on campus, the different organizations, and certainly bringing families, generations of families to campus is a lot of fun between parades, the step shows, the dance competitions, and then certainly a big fun football game at the end. It just really brings everyone together. Super fun time for all.
For me, probably one of my favorite times is family weekend. Basically, it's a time where our students will actually invite their family members or friends to come up to the campus and basically get to experience a weekend with them. There is a lot of fun events that are going on. The university president will speak to the families and students, and then also you cap off the weekend with a SEC home game. So it's always a really fun time and a fantastic way for you to be able to share as a student what you're already enjoying at South Carolina with your family and friends.
I think personally for me at Birmingham Southern, one of the favorite events is we do an event at the end of January term called Mama's Home Cooking, where we as faculty and staff all cook individual parts of a good Southern meal and bring it up in different crock pots. And I always laugh because it ends up just being like 50 different types of mac and cheese and homemade mashed potatoes, but it is some of the best food, hands down. And after students have been off doing really cool things, at the time when we all get to come back to campus and eat food and kind of have a giant family meal as we kick off the spring semester.
I think for Berea, so we actually own over 9,000 acres of land in Kentucky, and this year was set to be our 145th Mountain Day. This is a day where we close down campus, everything, on a Wednesday, and we shuttle everybody out to the mountain before sunrise. We hike up the mountain, and then as the sun is rising, the choir and the music groups sing. And then we have foods and a cookout, and there's dance groups, and it's so much fun, and it's such a great break before midterms.
One of my favorite events at Covenant. One thing I didn't mention is how much fun we still have fun on the mountain, and one of my favorites is 80 skate night, where we rent out Hamilton County Skate Place down in Chattanooga. And I mean, students have gone thrifting all throughout downtown and have some great 80s gear. And our chaplain, Grant Lowe, is the DJ, which is pretty legit. Like, he's preaching in chapel, and then he's like putting on the best 80s tunes. And so we just have a lot of fun. Students have, races and compete like with skates, or there's just like a dance party in the center, which is just a blast. So that's one of my favorite events, and I've loved hearing all of y'all. This is fun.
All right, and so one of our events at Western that I really love is at the beginning of the school year, all of our students, we move in, we have a big week of welcome that first week. And it kicks off with a big Valley Ballyhoo is what we call it, which is where all of our student organizations are right in the middle of campus around the fountain, and they're giving out free stuff. They're getting information. They're collecting, sometimes they're collecting for an organization, but they're also out there to give you information about what they are all about, so that you can get a lot of information from different clubs and organizations, see what you want to participate in. So it could be anything, like I mentioned, we have tons of different ones to get involved in, but I think it's a great way for you to see maybe where you might fit and meet people that you may not meet just walking around. So it's a really great opportunity.
Awesome. So thank you all for presenting, and thank you all for joining us. When you go to close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to check out the full sign up for additional sessions. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions recordings. Thank you all.
Thank you. Good night.